Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time, you're definitely welcome. If not, thanks for stopping by. Do also subscribe to this channel, like this video if you watched it to the end and enjoyed it, and while you're subscribing, make sure to turn on post notification bell so you'll be notified every time I have a new video up on my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about how to build a career here in the US, and what better way than my wonderful husband, who has been working here in the US for quite a bit, for several years, with extensive experience as a product manager here in the US in the tech space. So I've invited him to my channel since that's his thing. He won't come to my channel to come and do makeup for me, so here we are.
Well, I've done makeup before though.
Yeah, you've done it, but all the other times I've asked you to come, you've never come. So but he was really excited to do this today, so I would just be having him talk about very briefly about his career experience here in the US so far, and what tips he has for you guys, for you to build a successful career here in the US. So babe.
Alright, so am I supposed to just...
Yeah, just talk.
Okay, alright, so hi guys, welcome to my wife's YouTube channel. Smash the subscribe, the like button, and subscribe, of course. Share with your friends and family. So, advice on building a career in the US. I think the best way to do it is just to describe like how it went for me though. So, like I trained as a physician, like as a medical doctor in Nigeria, so I practiced for a few years before, you know, moving to the US. And I mean, I love medicine, but I just figured that, you know, the way a traditional physician works wasn't like what I wanted for my life, for the rest of my life, right? I wasn't really excited about it. Like, I knew there was value in it, but I wanted something, how will I put it, something bigger, like, you know, that can impact like, you know, millions of people at the same time, right? So the first thing I thought to myself was, okay, what other thing am I really excited about, but, you know, can still, you know, allow me work within the healthcare space? So I decided to move towards healthcare technology, because that's something that was really like you know, you're excited by something, like, you know, when you spend a lot of your downtime doing that. Like, my wife sometimes complains like, oh, I'm always on my phone, but it's not like I'm always on my phone like chatting or whatever. Like, half of the time I'm like doing like some courses on, you know, technology, data, you know, stuff like that on Coursera, watching YouTube videos on, you know, some of those, you know, Indian gurus, you know, that teach like data and tech. They're like some of the best in the world, you know. So I spent my time doing that. So I was like, you know, I'm really drawn to this thing, so it should be something that I should, you know, do on my, you know, as part of my professional career as well. So I decided to move towards healthcare tech. So luckily, when I was done with my master's in the US in public health administration, I stayed back and did a second master's again, but this time focused more on data and technology within the healthcare space, you know, to just get like a, you know, so to get, you know, kind of like that background, right? So that if I'm applying to, you know, employers, you know, they're like, okay, this person, you know, has the healthcare background as a physician and also has the tech, you know, education as well. So when I was done, you know, I got employed as a clinical informaticist. It's a fancy term for, I just like to call it, you know, doing technology in the healthcare space, data and technology in the healthcare space, but not an IT person, like not going to like fix computers and troubleshoot. No, it's, you're kind of like thinking strategically about how data and technology can play a role in the healthcare space to improve patient care. So I mean, think about it, I was like best suited for that. I had experience as a doctor and I had training as you know, in technology and data as well. So you know, doing that, you know, exposed me to like, it just broadened my career opportunities, man. Like at some point, like almost every week I get like at least 3 offers for product manager positions in healthcare tech companies, even with some of these other major companies like Facebook and the rest. I did Facebook interviews sometime at Bongo did. I wasn't ready for it. But you know, and Facebook wasn't in the healthcare space, so I wasn't really excited about it. So what's my advice? I'll say,
well, first, right, while you were doing all this research and trying to find out the right fit for you, being you know, keeping in mind that you loved healthcare and you also love tech, what were the resources that were at your disposal? Did somebody advise you that, you know, like how you advised me that okay, tech and marketing, product marketing, was there somebody in your life that advised you to take that route, you know, tech and healthcare?
You know, funny thing is, nobody like really advised me per se. Like I think the what like pushed me like towards that direction was, you know, I'll meet like some of my chairmen then, you know, like folks who had come to the US before us and were making good money, building their careers, you know, and I'll be like, man, you know, I'm really interested in working, you know, in your company where you work, you know, can you give me a referral, stuff like that. And then they would ask me like, which positions do I want to work for? And at some point I just wanted to do everything. To be honest, at the point I was just looking for money, man, like the positions that paid more money. But one thing that they always kept saying was, if I do that, my resume is going to be a little bit confused, because I'm trying to build my resume to fit into operations role. At the same time, I'm building it to fit into tech role. At the same time, I'm building it to fit into public health role. Like, so it's like a little bit confusing. confusing for the recruiters. That's what they told me. You know, so over time, I started getting a little bit more disciplined and started focusing more on healthcare tech, you know, to make the story like fit and make sense. So I took some time, you know, built out my LinkedIn page. So I took some time, built out my LinkedIn page. So the first thing I did was I researched like folks who were doing the kind of roles that I wanted to do, like product manager roles, you know, data scientist roles, stuff like that. And then I looked at their LinkedIn page. So folks that were already established, working years in the industry, right? And so what I did was I copied. So I looked at their LinkedIn pages and I saw how they structured, you know, what they wanted to, you know, sell to prospective companies. I looked at my brother's page. My brother works in Amazon. He worked in Facebook as well, and then I think he went back to Amazon. He's also in the product space as well. So I looked at his page, looked at some of my chairman, you know, pages as well, and then I, you know, decided, okay, all right, so this is how like a good LinkedIn profile page looks like. So I started building out the different sections, making sure that I highlighted, you know, things that were, you know, those buzzwords, you know, like products, data, technology, all those things, you know, just put it out there in the academic section, the work experience section, the certification section, right? So I built that out such that the LinkedIn algorithm will pick out those buzzwords, and then when recruiters like look for people who fit positions, you know, they see my profile pop up, and that really helped. Of course, before I built up my page, right, I decided to like do some certifications as well that were popular in the industry. My wife and I did Scrum at some point. That was one of the latest certifications I did. But I did some other certifications on LinkedIn Learning, you know, a couple of other ones, right, that just spoke to my interest in product management and my ability to be able to do the job. Yeah, after doing that, I built up my, you know, LinkedIn profile, built out my resume, and I think that's what really helped, man. Like, you know, a lot of recruiters started reaching out when those, you know, it started becoming consistent what it was that I was doing, and then my medical background like really helped. So yeah, I would say, you know, my advice is, you know, think deeply about what it is that motivates you and what you really want to do. Typically, the way to know it is, what things do you go back to on your downtime? You know, like, you can spend like 8-9 hours after your 9-to-5 work, and it won't feel like work, like you're just doing it, enjoying it. That's probably what is gonna drive you, right? It's also okay to be driven by money as well too. If you're looking to make money and you're like, you know what, I just want to make as much money as I can in say 10 years, 15 years and retire and go and enjoy my life somewhere, Accra, Ghana, like me, I want to do, or Zanzibar, Tanzania. It's okay as well, you know, look for positions that you feel, you know, pay the most, and then try to fit yourself into that program. You know, look at the experience you've had, identify some certifications that you can do that are popular in the industry, work on your LinkedIn profile, take time to work on it, make it professional, make it stand out, look at people who are in the roles that you're trying to get into, and then match your profile to theirs, right? Do the same with your resume. Like, what you put on LinkedIn, just do it in your resume, and be very targeted at the kind of positions you're going for. Try to do some LinkedIn certifications as well, you know, some of those, I think, skill assessments, right? Those also help as well. So I think, to me, that's pretty much it, man. It's, you know, understand what you're trying to do, research people in that space, do some certifications that actually, you know, talk to your ability to perform those skill sets, and yeah, just keep on following folks in the space on Twitter, on LinkedIn, reading up as much as you can, and just refining your skill and just getting better over and over again. And those jobs will start finding you, to be honest, especially in the tech space.
Those are like wonderful points, babe. I think two things that I might just add is networking is also very important.
I hate
like
networking.
Yeah, I know you hate it, but it actually helps. And
but it helps,
that was how I got my first job at Leo Burnett. Like, I was networking with Franklin and Tunde for like 1 year before I finally got that job. And I think if you hate like networking like virtually, like meeting in person, a good place to network, like he just mentioned, is LinkedIn. So you go to LinkedIn, you set up virtual meetings, try to get to know the person genuinely. Don't be like, oh, you're in a meeting and all you just have is just like questions for yourself. Maybe you're preparing for an interview and just asking them, what question did they ask you? I made that mistake with one of my interviews, and till date I always cringe whenever I remember it. So when you're meeting with people, be genuinely interested in them. What are they doing? What is their typical day in the life as a product marketer? What is the typical day in the life as a product manager? And just to get to know them on a more personal level than just shunning, oh, I want to I want this, I want that, can you get me a job? That's very wrong. That's a turn off. They probably won't reply you and they won't take you seriously. Another good good place to meet or network with people, there's this website called Meetup. I don't know if you've heard about it.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, so Meetup is like a website where professionals like create groups and then they actually meet in person or do like virtual meetings once in a while. So they could set up, like, I know that when I was getting into Scrum, there was like Scrum meetings here in Minneapolis. So and then, you know, even though I didn't attend any of those, you know, that's a good way. But I think I attended one virtually, so that's also very key. Could you touch on, I know that there was a time you were talking about your mentor. How did mentorship help you in your career?
Mentor. To be honest, like, I have a lot of mentors that are more virtual mentors, like people that don't even know me, to be honest. Like, I just follow them on Twitter, I follow them on LinkedIn, and I see what they're talking about. Like, you know, that whole thing of, oh, you know, the people you hang around with the most, you know, start to influence who you are over time. So me, I'm personally more, I won't say I'm an introvert, but I'm introverted in a way. Like, I don't like meeting a lot of people, but I mean, when I meet people, like, of course I give my time and my energy to it, but I like more, you know, closer knit kind of groups, right? So the traditional type of networking doesn't work for me, like, you know, where I have to go out and go into these groups and meet people. I just get bored and I get tired, and that's it. So what I do is I do the virtual type of networking. So I create, you know, a network of people around me, right? That don't even know, they're just professional in the space on Twitter, on LinkedIn, and I follow them, you know, and you know, when they make comments, sometimes I go and make comments on their posts, and sometimes they like my comments, sometimes they follow me. Like recently I got followed by Gary Tan, who's like, the guy is you know, one of the
YouTube guy you watch?
Yeah, YouTube guy. He's a VC investor that just raised like $700 million for his third fund.
Wow.
And also a successful, you know, startup founder, which is something I want to do. That's my eventual goal, is build my own startup. The guy followed me on Twitter, right? Just because of a post that I made that I think he's seen for me. So that kind of stuff, right? So imagine over time, if I'm trying to start my startup and I want to reach out for funding, I could just send him a message, you know, on Twitter and stuff like that. So I like the virtual type of networking that way. But I also had like closer guys as well that I, you know, spoke to. Like, you know, when I said my chairman, you know, just folks who were here before me and my friends, who were really successful on their career path. And man, they really helped, man. Like, just, you know, like my wife said, you know, it's not they're talking to them like what you always want to get from them, but it's just genuinely trying to get them to give you advice, like good advice. And they were just giving us advice, man, telling us on things we should do, you know, how to build our resume, how to build our LinkedIn profiles, and then just seeing the way they were progressing was inspiring us to make sure that we didn't settle for less. Because that's one important thing, like, especially if you're, you know, moving to the US, or even if you're in the US, be very careful about the people that you commonly, how will I put it, be very careful about your network, right? Like, if you want to do, it's not bad to like hang out with them, that's fine. You know, you can hang out with anybody, you can create relationships with anybody, but you have to know what it is you're looking for in life. Like, so if you're trying to get somewhere, look for people who are already on the track or have gotten there already, and, you know, try to get advice from them and try to listen to them more often. Over time, we humans, we start to adapt, you know, to the people that are commonly around us, right? So that's one thing we did. We'd always reach out to these guys, we'd always hang out with them, go on social events. If they invite us for their kids' birthday, would always go, you know, any gathering would go, and all those nuggets of advice they gave us were things that we'll take back and then try to improve our profile, improve our, you know, our job search, and our strategy. And then, you know, over time we just start like getting close to them, sometimes even surpassing them, you know. That's the way it works. So yeah, mentoring is a very big thing.
Just speaking on networking as well, I know that my school, Calcin, they're like very big on networking. Like, they have like coffee chats and everything. And I think one thing that also helped me with my internship opportunity that I currently have for next year is networking. You know, before I joined my MBA school, I reached out to Wale, I don't know if you can remember, and it was one that actually gingered me. It was like, welcome, but you need to step up, like, these are the things that you need to do before you resume. He also advised me to take on some courses, which I didn't take, but if I had taken them, I would probably be better prepared for the MBA, because, you know, so I did all of that. And of course, through networking, on LinkedIn, I met a very nice Nigerian. Her name is Kemi, the girl that was helping her for my interview. Like, she was constantly on me. Like, whenever we were prepping, she would tell me, whoa, her, like, you're not prepared for this thing. You need to go back and work on your why. You need to go back and work on your why, the company, you know. And I really appreciated those back. And it was those feedback and preparation and networking with them that helped me secure that role, you know. So networking is very, very important. I cannot overemphasize that, like, you know, I just mentioned and he also mentioned. Another thing, I think you touched on it a little bit, but certificate, gaining relevant certificates in your career. So if you're into product marketing or product manager or even a scrum master, there are certifications that you can actually take, which would also not only look good in your resume, but would also give you the needed knowledge and skills you would need to excel. And as part of that certification, you usually would get an opportunity to create like a good network for you know, people that are on the same track as you are as well.
Absolutely. With certifications, like everyone that does the certification, when they see your profile, you know, that to them that's like, okay, this person is part of our in-group, right? So when you reach out to them and they see you've done that certification, they're like, interesting. You know, they want to, like, they see something that's common between both of you, you know. And like you said, like she said earlier, you know, it gives you an in to some of those professional networks, you know, in your city. So you get to meet like directors, VPs, folks in companies, and you know, that's one of the fastest way for you to get your leg into like some of these, you know, companies that you want to work for.
Absolutely. Do you have any other thing you want to add?
I mean, that's it. It's like, I think the only thing to add is, you know, I always say generally in life, you know, like, just don't take it too serious, you know, try to have fun, right? I always joke, like, regardless of what anybody achieves or does, at the end of the day, it would all be like 6 feet in the ground, so whatever. So just, you know, have fun, you know, take it like an experiment, you know, day to day, try different things, you know, and see what works, and be open with your time as well. When people reach out to you as well, to, you know, try to, you know, offer them your advice. The more you try to put people in line and stuff, the more you learn yourself. So even you yourself mentoring, sometimes you think you're not at the level where you can mentor. I still think the same way now, but some people tell me, man, dude, you've done a lot, man, but you just don't you don't like take pause to, like, you know, take in what you've done. So you can mentor at any level. If you do more of it, the more you also get better at even your own professional careers and trying to get what you want. So
exactly. Be very patient, because these things take time. I remember when I was applying for jobs, I probably applied to maybe like 200. So before you get that dream job, be open to applying. At least if you haven't applied like 100 or 200 times, there's no cause for you to crying or be lamenting, because most people, before they get their first job, they usually like not only apply, but they go to like several countless interviews and see it as a learning experience. Because the more I went to those interviews, the more, you know, I was able to build out my interview guide. I was able to know what I did bad and then improve on those aspects ahead of the next interview. So see it as a learning opportunity, and most importantly, always strive to succeed, and don't just do it for doing sake. Make sure you have something like a goal at the back of your mind that you want to achieve at the end of it. So it could be, you know, like he mentioned, it's okay if it's financial, you just want to make money. It's okay if you want to reach the pinnacle of your career. It's okay if it's any other thing. And that's basically it.
Yeah, pretty much. So
thank you so much for appearing today on my channel. You guys should appreciate him by liking this video and subscribing, because it took a lot for me to drag him today. I was surprised he agreed to it. So make sure you like this video, share with your friends who are looking to start a career here in the US, or even if you're just already a career person here in the US. These are tips that would definitely be helpful in helping you secure your next role. With that, we'll come to the very end of today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you have any specific questions that you want to ask in the comment section, and I will definitely respond to them. I'll see you guys in my next one. Love you guys.
Peace.
Bye. Thank you so much, baby.
All right, well.